One.
Hello and welcome to another night of the Sharpshooters. I almost forgot our show
Yep,
name because Killer
that's
Tomato
our,
threw me so off with his comments already. How you doing tonight,
that's us.
Juice?
I'm doing good. I'm ready for a fun night. Always a good time when we get to talk and discuss the worst side of wrestling, the bad side,
Yes.
um, in a fun-ish way, and not so much a rage-inducing way. So this will be fun. Also, have a little bit of a painful segment coming up later, but we'll get to that after
Oh.
the commercial break.
Oh, that's so interesting. Okay. All right. I forgot to
Yeah.
turn on my
Yeah.
light here. Excuse me for this sudden. Oh,
Oh boy.
didn't work. I thought this light was.
Caverless,
There it is.
Caverless says he was the Make-A-Wish, the dark side of the ring, perhaps. Ah, I get it. Yeah,
No, but
it's
that was
okay,
a good
Caverless.
episode this past week. I'm hoping this season continues like that one because I liked it a lot. But
Oh, that. No, that's not what they're talking about. Okay, moving on. See, Cena was busy.
little bit of housekeeping. Sorry to flood the chat really quick, but
Ah,
down below we are looking at our sub list. We are at 5 out of 10. Very nice number. If we could get that up, that would be so much better. We need to upgrade some things. Yeah, 5 out of 10, but I know.
oh
If you
my.
have Amazon Prime, it is free for you. Helps us out. All the instructions are in the chat on the side. Please do us a favor and subscribe if you can. Also, down
Takes
below
a few minutes.
is our link tree for any past episodes. If you want to follow us on any of our other social media channels, you may. And as always, thank you to Accept the Win for being the official band of the Sharpshooters. You hear them before and after the show and during the break. And Juice, what do I always forget about?
Oh, you always forget about the well, it's two things. First off, I'm going to bring up another little shameless plug for our friends at Accept the Wind.
Yeah, I
If
don't always
you
forget
are
about that. That's fine.
Well, it's more of a recent one. If you are available this weekend on Saturday, April 12th, at about what is the time here?
I believe they
I
said
think
9.
yeah, this Saturday night in Queens, 801 Seneca Avenue. They are playing at Freda, which is 801 Seneca Avenue. You can go see Accept the Win live. And then with the little Miller Sharpshooter sent you, throw up a few signs or two. They'll love to see you. But go
They
check them
take
out. They're a good
requests.
time. They do not take requests.
I
And
Debatable.
lastly, I wanted to bring up we have a mailbag ongoing. If
Mail.
you are if you are a good job, Blue. If you are a first time viewer here on the show, we have a mailbag running at the sharpshooters1 at yahoo.com. So it's basically the URL, the end of the Linktree link, the sharpshooters1 at yahoo.com. Again, you can go there and send us any questions you have. They can be wrestling related, non-wrestling related, anything you want. We're building up questions. We'll give it a few more weeks, see how it goes, and we'll take it from there if we're going to keep the segment running or not. But definitely send questions. We'd love to hear anything you got for us, and we look forward to answering them here on this stream. And yeah, I
Nice.
believe that's it. I think now we're ready to dive into the first segment of our show, which, if you have not been here before, we start. If you get more subs, will you get a Gmail? You know what? Yeah. How about this? If we hit 10 total subs in the next month,
Uh,
I will open up a Gmail account exclusively for the mailbag. So we have to get double our subs in a month. There you go. You heard it here first.
that's so funny.
So, for those of you that have not been here before, we kick off our shows usually after all the house cleaning with trivia. We used to keep
Trivia.
score. Don't keep score anymore because I kind of ran away with it.
Yeah,
And
100%. I'll admit, Juice blew it out of the
and
water, and it was just I didn't want to keep looking at the scoreboard. I found the
also,
scoreboard too. It was very depressing. It was like 30 something to like 8. It was so bad.
yeah. But yeah, so now we just alternate every week and just do a trivia question. So Danny, it is your week. Hit me with your best shot.
A
Let's
lot
go.
easier for me. All right, so this week, keeping in the WrestleMania theme, it's a multiple choice question for you. So, only 4 wrestlers in history have defended the Intercontinental Championship at 2 consecutive WrestleManias. Of those 4, Macho Man Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior, The Rock, and most recently, Gunther. Of these 4 men, only 2 of them have defended in the same reign. Have defended the belt back to back in the same title reign. Which 2?
Okay.
It's a 50-50 or kind of 50-50.
I'll just say Walter's definitely one.
Obviously, that was a gimme.
That's a layup. Okay, so what were the other 3? What were the names again? It was The
Macho
Rock.
Man, Ultimate Warrior,
Okay.
and The Rock.
Rock. Let's see, 14, 13, no. 14, no. Well, I think he won it there. I don't think he defended it there. 15, no. So it wasn't The Rock. So it's either Savage or Warrior. Problem is, I wasn't watching then. I know I've seen the matches. I just don't recall. So it's going to be a flip. Let's go with Savage.
Oh, yeah, that's a good guess. Macho Man Randy Savage and Gunther both defended in the same reign. Macho Man defended in 86 and 87. Ultimate Warrior and The Rock both lost the belt and then regained it before their second WrestleMania.
I'll take it. I'll take it. It was a guess, but I mean, my thinking was there, so I got it. I'll take it.
That isn't a question I can ask you without giving you multiple choice anyway. It's not like you would like, especially because I saw the two were old guys before your time, so it wouldn't have been fair to like just say like go ahead, good luck. So that's why I gave you the multiple choice, 100%.
That's
no
fair.
problem.
That's fair.
Alrighty. Right. I like that one. No, I saw that one the other day. I was like, oh, I love the Intercontinental Championship. So let's go with WrestleMania. All right.
It is time for an updated leaderboard for the fantasy game. So for those of you that are joining us for the first time, we have been running a Road to WrestleMania fantasy game that started at the Royal Rumble, and everybody budgets their team with a $30 million budget, and most points at the end of the season is going to win. The game ends at WrestleMania, so we are in the home stretch here. So Danny, let's throw up the leaderboard for the ending of week 9, I believe.
I lost. Oh my God, I lost another spot in the ranks. This is crazy.
All right. So here we go.
Harley back on top.
Little bit of movement still. Unfortunately, the bottom 4 still
TJ big week,
staying where they are. TJ had a huge week.
That's all I'm saying. Kevin last. This is crazy
with 79. So
I had
TJ,
a good week. I felt good.
And it's funny because actually TJ, along with Danny and Kevin, you guys just flipped back to how it was in week 7.
I know.
So you really, because TJ was there and you both moved up last week, and now he took his spot back.
God damn.
So yeah, so still some work to do there for Danny and Keverlast. But TJ came in strong. And then up top, I mean, Harley and Byrne were tied because last week they picked the same exact team unknowingly. And here they are now. Harley took a little bit. She gained 5 points on him. So not a lot. But she's currently in first, going into the second to last week that we are in right now. It was a lower scoring week this past week here than it was the week before. I think everybody scored about 20 more points the week before. So not as much action this past week. As you see from the top wrestlers, Jacob Fatu had a huge week at 15 points. Walter with 14. Then from there, a lot of people, basically if somebody has 10 points, they wrestled a match and won hitting their finisher once. Tends to be how it goes. So
yeah,
that's
Harley. I thought the same thing. Harley said that she thought she had a bad weekend. I was like, yeah, based on the points, this is a low scoring week. But now seeing that, I'm like, I should have done better.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, she 66. I mean, Jay did better than her. TJ did better. Keverlast did better. But even Killer Tomato did better. But she still has more points overall. So it's still close. It's very, very close. And I think this upcoming Friday's gauntlet, women's gauntlet, is going to be a huge swing for people.
Did a lot of people pick different things?
Yeah, everyone had a different strategy. Some people took a lot of the women. Some people took none of the women. Because a lot of them were worth $1 million or $2 million, so it was a very smart call to take it because it's guaranteed 4 points. Yeah. Actually, 5 points because they were in specialty matches. But we will see. One thing I do want to give not a shout out to, but I want to acknowledge them for the shitty week they had. Notorious from the Till 5 broadcast intentionally threw his team last week, despite what he says, drafting such notable current wrestlers on TV such as Brock Lesnar, The Rock, Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, Eric Rowan, and so on and so forth. So he threw his team this week. That's why he scored 0 points. He was
making a lot of random comebacks, clearly.
And if he hit on all of them, he would have ended up with like 10 points. So good for him, I guess.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, so I think that's all I really had to say there. Really, the only things that paid off for people were Walter with his assault on
that was dope.
On Jimmy, and then Jacob Fatu with the last man standing win. Everybody else was kind of nothing really going on there.
Yeah.
Obviously, the women's special guest referee match didn't really pay off for Io, Rhea, or Bianca. They all got hurt with the points there, as you see. And a lot of people banked on them. A lot of people had EO and Rhea in their system. So it doesn't really pay off when you think you got the layup because it's WWE. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I'm really excited for how it's going to end up. And now with that, I do want to jump to what everyone's waiting for, the WrestleMania week breakdown of what we're doing. So before you go to the screen, I do want to share with everybody. Okay, it's fine. We're on the screen.
I already took it right off.
Okay, well, first things first. I'll announce it separately to everybody else and on our socials. But I want to announce here on the show that for WrestleMania week only, the final week, only one left, everybody is going to get a budget of $40 million. So instead of the 40, you're going to get 41 million.
Oh, shit.
So everyone's going to have more money to work with to do their thing.
Wait, why do we get 41 million?
What?
You just said get 41 million.
Oh, I said 40 million.
All right. I heard 41. Continue.
Do you want 41? I'll give everyone 41.
No, I was. That's why I got confused. Like 41. Anyway, go ahead. Continue.
Maybe because WrestleMania 41. Yes, everybody is going to get a $40 million budget, 40. So you got 30. You said everyone gets 40, then said everyone gets 41. I did. That's my apologies. All right. Well, the first one was right. It's 40. Everyone gets a $40 million budget. No more, no less. Good day, sir. And now I've also upped the scoring for the entire final week. Now, Danny, you can pop that up for everyone to see. So the scoring for Raw and SmackDown, as well as WrestleMania nights themselves, are all jacked up. There you go. You can look at it. I will be sharing this on social media for everyone to see as well. Essentially, I have taken Raw and SmackDown, and I've doubled the points from what they were normally on TV. And for WrestleMania, I doubled them and added a little bit more, quite frankly, just to make it even, make it 5, 10, 15, make it easier for me to score come the night of, because that will be the end of it all. So as you can see, I mean, winning and losing a championship, huge swing in points right there.
I know. This is crazy.
Retaining a title still gets you a lot. Specialty matches are still going to be a lot. DQ. Now, DQ count out loss. I made it -10. Now, I looked it up. Mind you, there's not been a DQ/count out at WrestleMania in like 10 years. So if it happens, it's your own fault.
It happened today.
So just be careful. But -10 points for a DQ. I debated making it a lot more, but I didn't go there.
That's so funny.
Now, the last thing I want to bring up, if you haven't noticed yet, on the very bottom, I put a little something new. Now, this is a whole separate point thing for WrestleMania itself. It's up to you if you want to strategize your team around this and pick this. Now, the way it's going to work is basically if they only wrestle on Raw and SmackDown, that does not count. So if you draft a whole team out of your 40 million and your whole team wins their matches at WrestleMania only, you get an extra 41 points. So I've noticed a lot of people hedge their bets, like they draft like Cody Rhodes and Cena and kind of just say, hey, I'll take the shot on both. This kind of, if you don't have to do this, but it's if you want to get the extra 41 points, and yes, this is 41. Maybe that's why I said it on accident. But yeah, if you want to try and go for the extra 41 points, you can try and draft the perfect roster. Now, again, that means if you do draft anybody that's wrestling only, like I said, only on Raw and SmackDown, or they lose on Raw and SmackDown, you don't get that point. Basically, your team has to win every match on WrestleMania weekend. I hope that makes sense.
Yep, I put back up the leaderboard, so for those of us that need the 41 points, just reminding us that we need those 40 points.
Yeah. And again, you don't have to go for it, but it's just something in there. It's something I threw in there to give everybody, maybe if they wanted to try and strategize and draft the perfect team. Again, everybody has to win their match on WrestleMania weekend. Let's say you draft who's probably not going to have a match. Let's say Andrade. You draft Andrade.
How dare you?
And he wins the Andre the Giant Battle Royal on SmackDown, but then he doesn't wrestle on WrestleMania. That does not count.
That counts.
It does not. They have to wrestle on WrestleMania and win on It's WrestleMania, not the whole week.
How about
So
140 points for what?
for the perfect roster? No, we're not going to
That's
blow up the whole.
ridiculous.
I don't want to blow up the whole league with like.
What is it? A
this
golden
thing, so,
snitch? Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, but I think I explained that well. I think everybody kind of got
I
it.
agree.
So again, it's only one angle for strategy. You don't have to do it, but if you want the 41 points or to go for it, it's got to be only people you think will win on WrestleMania. Raw and SmackDown do not count. If they win or lose on SmackDown and Raw and win on WrestleMania, you're okay. If that makes sense.
It does. Sorry for those at home right now. I'm going to be messing with the screen because I got to edit it for our next segment. But yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense. I like it a lot. And it just gives it a little something different because, again, I'm going to be going for that 41 points because I am down by about 46 points. So that'll really help me out, Juice. Good call.
All right. There you go.
Harley, you're done.
Ooh. And that's the thing also, that top 6, I think, is all within like 50 or 40 points. So that alone could swing 6th place up the first.
Yes, sir.
So good luck.
All right. Now let's get into why we're all really here tonight. No, I was here for the fantasy actually, but we are building the worst. You better be, Harley. We're building the worst WrestleMania card ever.
Ever.
So for those of you that weren't here when we built the best WrestleMania card ever, the rules are pretty simple. We are coming up with 14 matches, 7 for night 1, 7 for night 2. We cannot repeat any wrestler. So once they are used, they cannot be used again. So, for example, Undertaker, some of his early matches were a lot of clunkers. We can only choose one Undertaker match to put it on the entire card. So that that makes us really get creative with who we're going to put on and stuff like that. So do you want to talk about any of your criteria or how you chose these before we get started? Let people a little insight in the juicy brain.
I'm a juicy brain. Everybody can get in there.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, I think what I'll do first off, actually, I will read off some fan suggestions.
Ooh, I like that. So
actually,
not getting into the juicy brain.
Yeah, well, I'll say that, I'll let you throw up the graphic first, and then we can do that. But yeah, I'll share the juicy brain first, and then we'll do the match suggestions. So for me, I worked off of, I went on Wikipedia. I went through every WrestleMania and kind of just read it. Juicy brain will be burned in my mind forever. You're welcome.
Hey.
But so I went through each WrestleMania, kind of just did an eye test because I've seen them all and wrote down a huge list of all the ones I thought were worth talking about. From there, I did not look at it again. I didn't narrow it down. I didn't really get married to any matches that I really want on here, except for like 4 or 5, but I'm sure we're going to agree on those anyway. And then it's just going to be open to talk about, open to discuss. I didn't really, I kept it, I feel like I kept it relatively real. I didn't really throw anything on there that I think is like egregiously good and I'm just being a dick. Like I kept it pretty level with what I think is legit. Just like I'm thinking like, okay, I'm buying a ticket. I'm all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, sitting down, getting ready for WrestleMania. I'm there, first time ever, and I just get the absolute dog shit show.
Yeah.
That I can imagine, where I'm sitting there going, "Oh my God, it's never gonna get better. It's never gonna get better. This is awful."
So that's funny because I think that that's gonna make us have some similarities, but a lot of differences with matches because I went a little different where I tried to think of matches I was like really hyped for that were complete clunkers or like really let me down. So I didn't try to get any like no names on there. I didn't like there's a lot of bad matches in WrestleMania, but like if you weren't a big name, I didn't really consider you. So like no offense to the Bushwhackers, but like I know they had a lot of bad matches. They're nowhere on my list and stuff. So, like, I chose people where I was like, all right, I'm hyped to go see this, or you're a big name. If I'm a fan, I'm, like, hyped to go see your match. And then I saw your match. And I'm just like, what the fuck did I just watch? So I narrowed it down to about, like, 14 to 15, knowing that you'd have more. So, therefore, we'd have a good 2 nights.
Okay.
So, it's going to be really interesting. I'm interested to hear what the fans said, though.
Yeah, and one last thing I will say before we really dive in here, I shared it with Danny before the show, but anything pre-Mania 14, I've seen it, but I'm not knowledgeable enough to really weigh in on it and say like it is bad. I want it on there. I'm gonna defer to Danny really on anything pre-14. Again, I've seen it. I just
And
like my
for the
dog's not in that
record,
fight.
it's
I
not
didn't grow up
because
with it.
it's not because I'm older, because I'm clearly much, much younger than Juice.
Hey, oh,
It is because I just watched a lot of the early WrestleManias over and over again when I was a child. That's all.
hey,
That's the only reason.
what'd you just say there, young man? I didn't hear it. I didn't hear you on my ear hole. Um,
So yeah.
okay, so yes, so I'm gonna read off some first, and again, we don't have to write them down, but we're gonna
Hey, Killer Tomato had
talk
your
about it
back.
here.
I don't like that. That was a good one though.
Danny, just like he's WrestleMania's young. Oh boy.
That was funny.
Oh boy. All right.
Disgusting.
So yeah, I'm gonna speed run a few of these here. Friends of the Squared Circle over on Facebook. Go give them a follow. Wrote I agree with somebody else. Alex Henricks. They both said Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler. Aaron Bird said King Kong Bundy versus ST Jones. Popular one was Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez, said by our friend Cal. Let's see some other ones I got here. Scrolling through, so don't mind me. We got from our friend Ben. We have Bret Hart versus Vince. We have Goldberg versus Lesnar. Didn't say which one, but I'm assuming both of them. Orton versus Wyatt did not specify which one, but I'm assuming he means the second one, but he could mean both.
I was gonna say. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Some other ones we did have. We have from let's see. Sorry, I'm scrolling through these. So we have from Victoria and Jim. We have a list here. We have Lesnar versus Goldberg from 20. Jake the Snake versus Rick Martel at 7. Taker versus Gonzalez again for both of them. Lesnar versus Goldberg as well for both of them. Both Ortons and Bray Wyatts as well. They wrote Drew versus Lesnar at 36, which was the pandemic one, and Jake versus Martel, which is the ones with the blindfolds, the blindfold match. So I think I'm missing some people. I'm sorry if I missed you. Oh yeah, I got a few more. Want to make sure I get them said. We have from Jim. We have Bork versus Oldberg, Bray and Orton again, Brett and Vince, Hogan and Yokozuna, which we can get into in a little bit. Polo and Lawler, Knoxville and Sami Zayn, Vince versus Pat McAfee, Sheamus versus Danielson, Kurt versus Baron Corbin, Big Show versus Zaki Bono, Big Show and Floyd Mayweather.
Lots of people.
Yeah, and I think that's everything. If I missed you and you're on here, I apologize. Throw it in chat. I'll give you a shout out. That's just the fan suggestions of the ones we think that they think are the worst. Not that we should put them on, but they think they're the worst one.
And listen, there are a couple on there that I think we kind of can throw on, and we'll get started in a little bit. But I think there's a few on there that like we heard a lot, and I'd be shocked if they weren't on your list as well. And I'm going to go on the record, though, again, and I said this, I think, last week when someone brought it up. I do not think the Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville match was one of the worst of all time. I think that was a pretty entertaining match for what they did. It wasn't even the worst match of that night. So, like, people got to give that a little more love. Sammy really sold that match for him.
Yeah, I didn't hate that one. That one, I mean, I hated it going into it.
Yeah, same. But
like,
it turned me. Like
it was one of those ones that almost was like so bad it turned the corner and got better. Kind of like a Family Guy joke where it goes too long and you're like, all right, it's funny again. Harley also says Brock versus Taker. Okay, so let's dive in. I think the best place to start will be what do you think about like? Let's try and get some no-brainers off the board. What's a no?
There are no
match. You go first.
So there are some no-brainers I want to get off the board. Also, though, the 2 openers and 2 closers, I think we should be a little specific by because I think I have an idea for at least one of the openings.
Okay.
That's just at least save one opening for me. That's all I ask.
Hey, no, listen. Honestly, I didn't even think about actually formatting this as a show in that way. So by all means,
I only thought of that for 2 things. That's the only one I thought about for. But I think one no-brainer that we could put on there. Oh, actually, sorry. One thing we want to talk about because you brought it up, and I want to talk about it also, is matches such as Bret Hart versus Yokozuna, Vince McMahon versus Pat McAfee, matches that were last-second ads. How did you feel about that?
My gut says you can't have one without the other in terms of not those matches with each other, but like you can't throw. I feel like it's hard to throw Hogan and Yoko on there because you kind of need Brett and Yoko. Same thing
Exactly.
with McAfee. So as much as they suck, I don't really want to throw them on here because like they don't connect
I
on their
agree
own.
with that, and I think it's another thing of what we both said at the beginning where we are
Yeah.
getting ready for a WrestleMania card. If that's not announced, I'm not expecting. You know what I mean? That's something that
Yeah.
get like added. I'm like, oh, cool. And then if it was a clunker, it was a clunker. But like, I agree. If I added if I added Yoko and Hogan, I had to add Brett and Yoko, and I don't think that was
Mhm.
one of the worst matches of all time. So like,
Okay. Okay.
cool, we're good. All right.
How about this? Let's get two, maybe four matches on here, and then we'll take a commercial break.
Yeah. I think easy one, number one for me, Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler, WrestleMania 27.
I'm 100% with you
Sweet.
on that.
I'm gonna put that
I
in the
don't care.
second slot.
Yeah. Yep, that's fine.
I can't spell. Michael Cole versus
Nico.
Jerry
Nope. Come on,
Lawler.
you got it.
I got it.
Oh, Jerry Lawler.
Jerry. All right, so that was
Okay.
my number one. Like I put that on
Okay.
right away.
Well,
Go
I
ahead.
have another easy number one. It has to be on here. Bret Hart versus Vince McMahon.
100%. I'm gonna put that in night two.
Now, the only thing to think about, obviously, obviously now we're losing any other Vince McMahon matches or Bret Hart matches, which Bret doesn't have any other really bad ones.
I don't think so either.
Um,
And the other ones for
It's the
Vince.
Vince ones, but this is
Honestly,
I
Vince didn't have
feel-
too many bad ones. I'll give him credit. Like his matches weren't great, but they weren't never like the worst of the night. In the earlier years, it was the later ones that were kind of eh. So, but I think this was the worst of his WrestleMania matches.
it's the worst of all time. I
Yeah.
think it's worse than
That's
Cole
true.
and Lawler.
That's true. Also, I think it's the worst of all time. Next one that a lot of people put, and I totally agree. It was my least favorite Undertaker match: Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez. That was awful.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I'm just putting them in
I'm
random
okay with
spots too. By the way, I
Yeah.
have no rhyme or reason.
You got burned says death taxes Snooki. Yeah, Snooki. Snooki match is on my master list.
I'm not gonna lie, I
we'll-
forgot about the Snooki match. I didn't put it on my
we'll
list.
We'll cross that bridge. I mean, yeah. We'll
All
cross
right,
that
we
bridge
got
after
three.
commercial. Okay, so that's two from you, and
What's
I-
another
I'll
no-brainer?
throw out. Here's the thing. The last no brainer I really have written down here. The problem is it happened twice. I don't know which one we want to go with.
I know which one I want to go with, but I want to hear what you say.
Rock versus Goldberg.
Mm-hmm.
So it happened at 20 and
Mhm.
33. Like the 20 match, I want to say the 20 match because like the crowd was shit, but like it was such like the crowd was such shit for it. It was almost like an experience moment that was actually kind of dope to be like, wow, this is like these guys, this is great. Whereas 33 was legit just awful.
But we were also expecting it to be bad. Like I wasn't expecting the 33 match. At least the 20 match, I
Yeah.
was hoping would be good because they were still like in their prime technically, and it just was so bad because of the crowd and everything. For me personally,
Yeah.
it's the 20. But if you really feel strongly about 33, I don't mind that.
Yeah. Well, all right. So chat, weigh in here. Anybody listening? Rock and Goldberg. When you think of the worst match, do you go to 20 or do you go to 33? I feel like most are going to say 20, but I want to see what other people in chat think. Which one do they think is the worst of the two? But yeah, I am leaning 20. Now I don't know how we want to do this, but I don't think Austin is on any of my other matches anyway, because Austin was the referee. So I don't know if we want to include like him not being in a match. But
Yeah, we can include Austin, but so two
I'm
people
just
already
looking really
said 20. So looks like 20 so far.
Yeah,
And
it's fine.
I don't have Austin in a
Austin's
bad
not on.
match. Yeah.
Yeah, so
So it
I
looks
wouldn't
like
even
20.
write in. NWF 83, thank you for the follow. We really appreciate you jumping in here.
Nice.
Awesome to see you. Welcome. If you have any matches that you think are up there as the worst of all time, throw them in chat. Let us know. We'll talk about them. Right now, we're kind of just getting the like the no-brainers that we
Yeah.
kind of can think of on here. And then now we're gonna take a quick commercial break. Come back. And we're gonna kind of.
You know what? Before the
fill out
commercial
the
break,
rest
can
of
we end on one little thinker? I got my opener for night one.
Sure, if you want to propose it, and then we'll take a commercial break.
So marinate on it, chat. Let me know what you think. Opener for night one. Sheamus versus Bryan Danielson at WrestleMania 28. So think about that, and we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Oh man.
Yeah. And welcome back, everyone, to our worst WrestleMania card of all time. Before the commercial break, I left you with a little bit of a thinker. Can the opening match for night one, should it be Sheamus versus Bryan Danielson? What'd you think, Juice?
Well, I think before we get to that, we should do our other segment.
Oh, I forgot. I was so hyped about the WrestleMania card.
I know you were. Thank you, Falverton. Yes, we were made aware that we could hear Mr. Danny during the break.
Yeah, well, hope
Um,
you enjoyed my voice.
Yep. All right. So, for those of you that have never been here before, every week here on the show, we do a card pack opening of AEW cards. And this week is particularly rough for me because I have made the decision to crack open this box. This is the 2021 AEW Hobby Box. It came out back in 2021. Your old producer would never let that happen. Wait, you've only had one producer.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
not the producer.
yeah, so I'm opening up this bad boy. We're only opening one pack tonight. We did open a whole box, I think a week or two ago. I forget, but yes, um, we're only opening one pack tonight. So these are the 2021 hobby boxes. There'll be some good stuff in there. Let's rip it
Oof.
open.
All right.
It's going. Ooh, daddy. All right, so there are autographs in here. There are memorabilias, like things like that. So this is kind of like the AEW, the one we opened a few weeks ago, where like it's not going to be like a booster box where we were opening up like the little stuff then. So there'll be good hits in here,
Yeah.
like numbered stuff and whatnot. Now, I'm personally hoping for the big boys. I love a one of one. I love a printing plate. Like I want the good stuff, but we'll see how it goes.
You
Killer
got
Tomatoes is open too.
you got Burns said he can't wait for you to pull that Butcher auto.
It's my last hobby box, I think I pulled a Justin Roberts auto.
Oh.
So yeah, my luck was not good on that box, but here we go. We're gonna open up the first one, and Killer Tomatoes is open 2. Damn it! I will only open 2 if Danny says it's okay, or if we get a sub in the next minute.
Oh, I'll definitely agree for a sub.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's pop it open, rip it open, see what we got. So I already have the whole base set for this, so I'm only looking for the hits at this point. So we have a Darby Allin base.
Oh, Darby, you need to come back off that mountain.
We have a The Butcher base.
Ooh, not auto. Close burn.
Not
close.
auto, but we have The Butcher. The gold variant though. The blues are the base. The golds are like a different, slightly higher variant. We have a Justin Roberts base. Wow, they must have heard me talking about the autos.
Love Justin Roberts.
Justin Roberts base. And then we have a Chris Jericho main features card.
So is that the specialty one?
It's one of the specialty ones. I think you get like 4 or 6 in a box of these, so it's a special one.
That's
not like
that's pre-learning tree, so I'm glad you got to enjoy that one.
Yeah. But what's cool is obviously because this is the first line of AEW cards, so they all say first edition on them from a collector's perspective. Now this one is the hit of the pack. This is called a Wednesday in Action card from Anna J. And
that's dope looking.
I don't know if you're able to see it on screen, but like it's kind of like indented. It's a thick card.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it's kind of like a comic book, like a shadow box kind of thing going on in there. Dope. So it's like a card on a card in a card kind of deal going on with the fire around. It's thick. Yeah, so that's cool. I had one of these. The one I had in the box was Jericho like years back. But yeah, an Anna J one. So that is pack 1. Usually there are 8 cards per pack. This one only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because of the thicker card.
All right, let's see a second pack.
Oh, you twisted my arm. Okay.
Why not?
All right, let's go with
only because you got shorted technically 1 card because of the thick card. So I got to make sure you get your.
All right, I appreciate.
Get your fill.
I appreciate you. I would have
a Cody of that type. I think. Oh, a thick Cody. Is that what you're saying, J. DeFalco? You got a thick Cody.
Thick Cody Rhodes. All right, we're opening up number 2. Yeah.
Yep.
Got to give him that hit.
Make sure it's official.
All right, no thick cards.
Whew.
Oh no, this is sad. Lucha Bros.
Damn.
Base card Lucha Bros.
Tune in Thursday to see what we have to say about the Lucha Bros on WWE.
What are you talking about? Stu Grayson. Base card.
So this is like a memorial pack.
This is a lot of alumni here. Oh, we got someone that's current. We have a Cash Wheeler.
Ooh. Tune in Thursday to see what we think about Cash Wheeler on Sunday night. Oh,
boy, another one. Matt Hardy.
Delete that one.
This is a gold one, though. It's a little bit better.
Still delete.
The base. What we got going on here? Where are you? Are you numbered? No. We have a Dark Order card.
Uh-oh.
I don't think it's numbered. No. Tag team, but it's got like a little firework kind of thing going on there.
I miss Evil Luna.
It's not a good angle. Hold on. Trying to get the... I did my best. All right. The Dark Order. And then we have...
Last. Oh, not last. Next.
Nope, not last. We have an Anna J base card. And then we have a Scorpio Sky of the main features, kind of like the Jericho.
Where the hell has he been, man? That's crazy.
I don't know. That's what this whole box is going to be. Where are they now? Wow, and this is this is a fitting card. It's an AEW magazine cover card, and the headline is Jon Moxley won't let go of the AEW World Championship.
At least we get to see it.
We're from 2021.
That's fantastic. I love it. Oh, I'm
Wow.
so happy we opened a second pack. That was so worth it.
Yeah. So there you go. 2 down, 14
Nice.
packs to go. Tune in next week if you
14.
want to see more more packs be opened. It is sad. I'm a little sad I finally opened it, but I realized I wasn't ever going to make money off of it, and I typically don't resell anyway. So honestly, I over ordered back in 2021. I ordered 2, went to a store, found a third one, grabbed it out of like FOMO because I was so excited to like have cards. Well, no, because at that point, like freaking Punk just debuted, Cole and
So
Bryan just
everyone's like
showed
getting
up.
cards and stuff, probably.
I was like, total rah AEW before everything hit the fan. But all right, enough
All
of
right.
that. Let's dive back into now the cards are staring at me like the Green Goblin mask. Thank you, Danny. I gotta get them all away from me. Let's dive back into the rest of our worst WrestleMania card of all time.
Yes. So right before the break, we left off with me asking you night 1 opener, Sheamus versus Bryan Danielson. What do we think?
It's a good one. Obviously, fans aren't going to this expecting the worst WrestleMania of all time. Like they're not they're not going into it ready for bad. So I think what we need to talk about is what else on our list is also an opener that could be maybe better.
Remember, we have 2 openers.
Yeah, no, I know. So I have to look. I feel like Austin Theory and John Cena was an opener from 39. I have that one written down.
Oh, you're looking for actual openers. I just meant like it was a coincidence that Bryan Danielson and Sheamus was an opener also. I agree. I just meant like that's what would open the match. Like the next one, I don't know.
Okay.
The other one I had as opener, I don't know if it was an actual opener. This also might be a coincidence. Was the Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal an opener also?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
But that would be the
probably
other
not.
opener I have.
Is that the one from 30?
25, the one that Santina Morello won?
I don't think that opened at 25.
It was not said you got burned. Yeah, I didn't think so
yeah.
either. I was
Thank
just,
you, Burn.
but that was another one that would be like, oh, let's put that as an opener because that's another terrible one.
Match 2 or 3. Yeah, I didn't think it opened. Usually they typically don't open with the women, even back then.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we can write it in. I mean, it's on my master list here. We can write it in. If we change our mind, we can pop it off. So yeah, throw it on there. Why not?
All right.
You clearly feel strong enough about it. I want to support my co-host.
All right. What match do you have up next?
I don't. I mean, I have a master list here, so I'm just gonna.
What do you feel strongly about?
I'm gonna play with my finger. I'm gonna go up and down, and I'm gonna stop, and whatever I stop, and I'm gonna just suggest. All right, Mark Henry versus Ryback, WrestleMania 29. What do we think?
Oh, that was awful. That was a really bad one.
Worthy of the worst 14, though.
So one I would have to kind of match that would be Khali versus Kane, WrestleMania 23.
Was that 23? I thought that was 20. It was 23.
What I feel like one of them, not both of them. So Mark Henry versus Ryback was also really bad.
S'mores. They're both bad. They're both equally bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
I'm more down to go with Henry and Ryback because at least we know Khali was going to have a bad match because it's Khali. He always has a bad match. Ryback and Henry, some poor schlub maybe thought they were going to have a good match and was disappointed. So I'm down to put them down for that reason.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm cool with that. After you go, I do have 2 suggestions, unless you have nothing. But
all right, one that I think has to be on here: Butterbean versus Bart Gunn, Brawl for All final. That was awful. You don't look like you like it.
I wrote it down, but like I feel like if we're gonna do the exhibition match spot, I would much rather. I know you feel differently about this. I would much rather throw either the gimmick battle royal on there, from 17. I know you like that match. The match stunk. The only reason I won was because he couldn't go over the top rope.
I know.
Akibono versus Big Show. And then from there, the only other one I'd probably throw into that whole thing is where'd it go? I lost it. Braun Strowman and Nicholas versus The Bar.
I also, if we're gonna put in like a celebrity or exhibition kind of thing, then the other one I want to add to that is Lawrence Taylor versus Bam Bam Bigelow from WrestleMania 11 as the main event. Was terrible. And if you didn't see it, I mean, he essentially beat Bam Bam Bigelow with a second rope flying elbow, and then he pinned him.
I've seen it. I've seen it. My whole thing here is also part of my problem with the early manias is like, and this weighed in for me when I was making my list. As much as like a match is bad, like watching it back, like that crowd ate it up. They loved it,
That's fair too.
and that's why I
fair
have a
too.
hard time like. Granted, if you're not going to this to live in the bubble of that time,
No,
but
no, no.
like,
I mean that's why we kind of put the WrestleMania 20 Brock and Goldberg match more
yeah.
over. Right? No, I agree with that. The audience does have a big thing.
You got burned. You got burned. Says Big Show versus Akibona was worse than watching Butterbean hitting Bart Gunn with a frying pan, and Mayweather was pretty bad too. See, I didn't mind Big Show and Mayweather. Maybe it's because I really enjoyed.
I didn't mind
Mania
Big Show
24.
Mayweather either. I think Akibona was definitely worse than Big Show Mayweather.
Yeah, so I'm
good with
feel
Akibona versus Akibona versus Big Show.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
I'm cool
the
with
only
that.
reason I didn't want to go with the gimmick battle royal is unless you feel really opposed to it, I think the Miss WrestleMania battle royal should be on there, and I didn't want to put 2 on there.
So that was going to lead me to my next point. So if you want to write in Big Show Akibono, we can move on to the next point.
Go ahead.
Well, first, actually, before that point, I did want to touch on what.
Wait, hold on. Sorry. Just because I can't have Killer Tomato correct. Akibono,
you know how to
you got burned is spelled correctly because that's how I want to spell it. That's how I have it spelled too. I just want to make sure that's how you spell it.
Just write it, Danny.
All right.
Come on.
All right. I'm scared.
But yo, guy, chat. Look at this idiot. How you're right. You're right.
All right. Next.
So I did want to touch on what one of our commenters wrote before the break. You got burned. He did comment, and he's mentioned the ECW originals versus the New Breed. Is that what they were called?
That was a bad match also.
The match was RVD, Tommy Dreamer, Sabu, and the Sandman versus Elijah Burke, Marcus Corvon, Matt Stryker, and Kevin Thorne. Yes. So what do we think about that one? Do we think that deserves being on the top 14? It's bad, but these are all bad. So.
I mean, it's bad. With crossing off some matches and stuff, I no longer have 14, so I have no problem putting it in the top 14. Unless we put it in there, and then when we get to some other matches, we can just replace it. So I have no problem putting it there for now, for sure.
Yeah, let's write it in for now. We'll kind of roll with that. If it's coming up, we'll pick one. We'll throw it in, but we'll definitely leave it open to taking stuff off because I do think there's going to be stuff that we're going to be like, oh, we should have put that on.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, the next thing I wanted to bring up, as a booker, do we want to do the obligatory one women's match a night for both nights, or do we want to not handcuff ourselves to that?
I was thinking that as a booker, I have 2 women's matches. The Battle Royal was one, and then I have another women's match. But I want to hear what your women's match is.
So I'm just gonna speed run and read all the women's matches I have. It's not a lot, but I'll read off the ones I got. No, I'm just gonna go up and down the list. I didn't want to miss. I don't know how many off the top of my head. So I have Perry versus the cat fight from WrestleMania 16, WrestleMania 2000. I have Tori versus Candice in a pillow fight from WrestleMania 22. I do have the Snooki tag as well. And I think that's the last. Well, yeah, those are the only 3 women's matches I got. I don't have the Miss WrestleMania one on there because honestly, besides the finish, it was a kind of standard battle royal. It wasn't really.
No,
that's
totally
just my
fine.
opinion. I didn't really like it. And China versus Ivory. I mean, granted, those were my early glory days. I didn't mind China versus Ivory.
Yeah, China versus Ivory is more of a squash, and you kind of with that storyline going into it, I think kind of worked in that situation. So I agree that I'm not sure that should go on there. Terry versus the cat, I definitely have on there. And then the Snooki match. See, the problem with the Snooki match is everyone else. Well, not everyone else, but the other performers weren't terrible. Just like the little bit that Snooki was in there was just ridiculous, and the fact that Snooki was even in the match was, I think, more ridiculous. I don't know if it was worse than the pillow fight or worse than Terry versus the Cat.
So as much as I can't stand Snooki in the match, I'll let you talk me out of putting it on here. I'm okay with that. So let's definitely put Terry versus the Cat in a cat fight on there. I understand, it's WrestleMania 2000 and the fans did eat it up because it's, TNA, but
it was so bad.
It still was objectively. It was just not, yeah.
And then what's the other women's match we want to put?
I mean, you really want to put the Miss WrestleMania. That's the one with Santina won, right?
That's the only reason, because Santina won it and stuff like that. But I mean, the pillow fight also, I'm totally fine with as like an actual 1v1 women's match.
I'm fine with the Miss WrestleMania over the pillow fight. We already got the cat fight. It's fine. We're trying to make this the worst, like really fucking bad, and this show looks pretty doo-doo right now.
I was gonna say, as you said, I'm like, God, I'm looking at more.
This is booty cheeks right here.
All right, what do you have next?
I'm actually gonna
a few more.
I'm gonna defer here to you. I want you. Let's talk about all the stuff pre-Mania 14.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm very limited there. I've seen it all, but I'm biased. I personally thought all that stuff was pretty bad.
So I got four ones that stuck out to me pre-14. Two of them involved the same person, so I'll say those two for last. First one, Jake the Snake versus Rick Martel, the blindfold match, terrible. That was true. Second one was the Ultimate Warrior's return against Triple H at WrestleMania 12. That was atrocious. I couldn't believe that was even like, and the worst part, it wasn't because of the Triple H burial. I was hyped about seeing the Warrior come back. And then I got 5 seconds of the Warrior, and then he left. And I was like, "What? Wait, this was the big comeback I was waiting for?" Like, I was so disappointed as a kid. And then the last two involve Mr. Roddy Piper, surprisingly. One of the best in the business, had 2 clunkers at WrestleMania. Probably more, but 2 stood out. First one was the one against Mr. T at WrestleMania 2. That boxing match that turned into a shoot fight was just... that just wasn't good. And then the second one might have been worse, which was the Hollywood Brawl at WrestleMania 12 against Goldust, bro.
What?
That ending.
You're out of your mind.
No, bro. Okay. First off, barely a match. All right. You're chasing him using footage from the O.J. Simpson trial to hype up your match. And
that was real.
And then to end it, you're stripping the man in his cross-dressing lingerie. Like, what part of that was good? What part of that was good? It was so strange and oddly booked. I have no problem not putting it on there, but I had to just make sure that was mentioned because that match was not like a good match.
I gotta veto that one.
And I don't know, man. Like, just
we don't have vetoes, by the way. I'm just saying.
Stripping the man down at the end of the match was also a strange way to end it. I didn't like it. I don't like it at all. But that's fine. I have no problem putting it on there. I do think Mr. T versus Piper was worse than that one, even though that one was very bad. But those are the 3 main ones before 14: Warrior versus Triple H, Jake versus Rick Martel, and Mr. T versus Roddy Piper.
So I'm glad you said Mr. T versus Piper. I put it on there. I thought I was going to get shit from you for it.
No, not at all. That was crazy.
Yeah, I didn't like that one either.
It was uncomfortable.
So, yeah, I mean, so out of all the ones you said, I'd be most cool with throwing T and Piper on there.
Cool. And actually, that fits for night 2 because we got Big Show Nakabono on night 1. So,
yeah.
Another special.
Again, this is also all subject to change. We still, because we're running out of spots, and there's a lot left to talk about.
We got 3 spots left. Technically, both main event spots are open.
Oh man!
And I got 2 main event spots for them.
Okay, so let me just
really
talk.
quick.
I'm gonna update my
Do we want to
here.
include one of the other ones pre-14, Warrior versus Triple H, or Jake the Snake versus Rick Martel? My only issue, and I'm okay with not including either one of them. The Warrior one, there's a lot of squashes, so I'm okay not including that, just based on that alone.
It'd be the quickest Mania ever.
Yeah, right? We just have night 1 would just be like not even half an hour, just all squash matches.
That's basically a Monday Night Raw
That'd
right
be
there.
hilarious.
Right? Just the 10-second matches, yeah.
And then the Jake the Snake versus Rick Martel match. The only reason I have issues putting it on is because it was really the first time it was like done on a major stage like that. They tried their best. I mean,
yeah,
you could tell it wasn't blind. They weren't blindfolded at a certain point. Like even though they were acting very as good as they could. So
you know what? Here's what we'll do. You table those.
Okay.
I don't want to. We won't write them in, but we'll table them
Got
at this
it.
point. Sorry, I'm updating as we're going. I'm trying to get stuff off here so that I'm not missing anything. Get rid of this. We already said the ECW stuff's on there. Okay, let's talk about Triple H versus Randy Orton, WrestleMania 25.
Really?
What? Highly considered the worst main event of the modern era.
I think.
If you didn't know that.
I mean,
followed HBK and Taker. The build wasn't great, like with the home invasion and the handcuff and all that crap.
So the funny thing
did
is,
not like
the funny
Triple
thing
H
is,
and Orton.
I liked the build. I thought the build was pretty good. I remember him kissing Stephanie. I remember him RKOing her. I was like, you're gonna get murdered. Like Triple H might kill you on live TV with what you're doing to like everything. And then you're right. And the match was disappointing. I guess I never really considered it the worst. Especially as a main event, because for me the two worst main events, one does include Randy Orton, and a lot of people said it. Either one of the Bray Wyatt matches I think was worse than the Triple H match. I would say actually they both had terrible moments, because I would say one had the stupid snake in the middle, but then the other one had the blood coming out of fucking Alexa Bliss's mouth and shit.
Okay. If we're gonna, you have a good point. If we're gonna pick an Orton match, I would 100% go with Randy and Bray from 37.
Yeah. Okay.
That one, it lasted 5 minutes. That was the match where Alexa Bliss came out on the big box and the black goo was all over her. Like 33, I really dug the 33 build, and I loved the match minus the weird worms and on the ring projecting screen thing. So I'm completely fine with Randy versus Bray from 37 being on here. We can write that one in for sure.
And then the other main event I had, and you tell me how you feel about this, is Miz versus Cena from 27.
Yeah, I can't agree with you there.
Okay.
Big part, I'm not going to lie, apologies in advance if you were there with us. Were you with me when we watched this or no?
No.
We had a lot of people over for this pay-per-view.
Or maybe, I don't know, this was a while ago.
Do you remember, this was when I was just getting kind of back into WWE, because I just moved in to a new place. I was watching it weekly again, and I loved it because it was somebody beating Cena in the main event. So I really didn't, and I legit don't think it was that bad of a match. Everybody was shitting on. You got burnt as I was in the building with Joe Lopez. The crowd went mild. Yeah, well, sometimes that's how it's supposed to go when the bad guy wins. But I liked it.
Okay.
Was it amazing? No, but being with everybody watching it, like, I enjoyed it. So I have a hard time putting that on here as the worst. Yeah.
Okay.
And we have plenty of other matches to.
Yeah. I'm not like, oh my God, what's wrong with you? This is already a pretty bad card.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 11 matches left on the list. We are getting down to it.
0.
Okay. So
all my matches have been vetoed or used.
I think I've only truly vetoed maybe 2.
There goes that. All right, next.
Okay. Do we have any tag team matches on here? We have the ECW one.
We have the ECW, but that was more like a triple threat, straight up tag team.
ECW one was it's an 8-man.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, if we're gonna do tag team, I only have 2 other tag team multi-man matches to suggest.
Okay.
Braun and Nicholas versus The Bar with the tag titles when the fucking Kid won it. Or actually, can we do this one? Did we put Kane and Khali? No, we did not. Okay, so we might be able to do this one still. Oh no, we can't. We use Big Show. Never mind.
Big Show's used
I was gonna suggest Big Show, Kane, Kofi, and Santino versus The Core which was
Oh
like
God, yeah, that was so
immensely
bad.
unforgettable match.
That
But
was very
yeah, we
bad.
can't use that because Big Show. So I guess if we're gonna do a tag match, I would nominate Braun and Nicholas versus The Bar.
Yeah,
What are your
I'm okay.
thoughts?
I'm totally okay with that. That was awful. I hate every part of that. Braun
Fucking
Nicholas
kid winning the
versus. Oh
tag
no, we can't
titles.
do that. Sheamus. Sheamus
Ah,
versus
shit.
Danielson. Unless we want to
All right,
change
so
Sheamus versus Danielson.
also, no, leave it. We won't put it on. It's fine. It's fine.
What do we feel about? Because I don't know if we're gonna get like any of them individually. Because I don't know if they've had terrible individual matches. Because it just occurred to me as you said. I don't know if it was one of the worst of all time, but recent memory bias, it was pretty bad. The Shield versus like the DX Corporation, kind of with the New Age Outlaws and Kane.
Yeah, that was at 30, right?
Yeah. No. That
Yeah.
was that 30? No.
Pretty sure that was, if it wasn't 30, it was 29, but I think it was 30.
Oh, maybe it was 30. Damn. Yeah.
I'm
I
pretty
just
sure.
remembered it in my head.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I don't know.
I'm trying
I
to think
don't
of
know
other
about
tag
that.
team matches.
Yeah, actually, hold on. I need to take off more people because we used Brock, so that match is out. Did we use Cena somewhere already?
Not yet. I tried to, but you
Okay.
didn't let me.
Cena's got to be. I'm gonna go back to Theory versus Cena at 39.
Yeah.
Cena
Theory
was
versus Syria is pretty bad.
he was phoning it in, pale as hell.
Totally fine
Like
with
he
that.
lost to Theory, and just bad. Again, we can change it.
Do you
If
have
we
a
think there's
main
anything we're
event?
really missing.
Do you have another main event on that list?
I have a title match, not a main event, but it was an opener.
What was the title match?
Alberto Del Rio versus Jack Swagger at WrestleMania 29.
How can that not be our main event for night 2? How can that not be the main event for night 2? Look at
Yeah,
this
so that's
card.
my.
So essentially, what we've done, and this is still subject to change, but
Yep.
essentially what we've done is night 1 is the kind of the card you're looking forward to. You got Sheamus, you got John Cena, you got Brock and Goldberg, you got Randy Orton, and then you get completely let down in night 1. Night 2, you don't know what the fuck's going on there, and you won't know what the fuck's going on there after you watch night 2. This is ridiculous.
Oh my god.
These matches
Oh
are
my
so
god.
bad.
Oh my god. This is.
What else?
This is epic.
What else do you
Okay.
have?
So I have 5 more matches. I'll read them off, and we can, I guess, lock in after that. This one, I'll admit, it's biased, but I stand by it. Baron Corbin, Kurt Angle, WrestleMania 35.
Yo, I was considering that. I really was
My
considering
boy.
that. It was really
My
bad.
boy.
It should never happen in the first place. Okay, I'm down to. Well, I threw away my list, so I'm gonna find another list.
It's okay. We don't have to write it in. I'll read off the rest of them.
I'm writing it down because maybe I want to.
Okay. I called it for you, Juice. Yeah, I know. I also have Apollo Crews versus Big E at WrestleMania 37, the Nigerian drum fight. Yeah, just a mess all around. Not a great match. This is the first Mania in front of fans again, and the crowd just did not care about
Oh
Apollo
my
Crews
god!
or the Nigerian gimmick. So that's the other one. Also from WrestleMania 37, I did have Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon in the cage match.
I forgot about that.
The crowd popped for the Shane bump, and that was it. Like otherwise,
And I don't even, if I remember correctly, was Shane Bump even good? Wasn't it like? Oh, I gotta rewatch that. I don't remember if that was good or not.
It was so trash live. The Stomp the Yard match. Yeah, that was the Nigerian drum. Yeah, the Nigerian drum fight.
The Stop the Yard match.
And then this one, I don't know. I don't think it's as bad as any of these. Maybe I'm trying to be nice, but I did write down Jimmy versus Jay, Mania 40. We didn't touch on it.
Yeah, it's not as bad as these. It was a stinker, but I wouldn't put it on the level of most of these matches.
Yeah.
The closest I would equate it to on this list would be Sheamus versus Bryan, because that was just, a shocker. But
So thank you, Killer Tomato. You just brought up my final suggestion. From WrestleMania 39, I wrote down both of these. Pat McAfee versus The Miz from night 1, and Snoop Dogg versus The Miz from night 2 when it was supposed to be Shane, and Shane tore his ACL, and then Snoop Dogg had to tag in. Um, Now,
I
obviously,
forgot.
we could only pick one of those because The Miz is in both, and I
I
don't think we have The
forgot.
Miz or Pat or Snoop on here anywhere.
Well, Pat really shouldn't be
So
on here. Every single one of Pat's matches is a last second thing. So like we already talked to
so
that.
then
Like
it's
we're not including
so
those.
it's Snoop Dogg versus The Miz where Shane tore his ACL. Um, I kind of want to really get that one on there. So those are my. All right, so I'll take McAfee and Miz off. So those are my last 5. We already said no Jimmy J. Um, so yeah, I mean, when was that the last time Shane was seen in WWE? I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, you got hurt, and then
Right.
that was it.
All right. So, is there
Oh
anything that we
man.
want to cut from this that we really want to get those last 4 on? Again, it's Snoop Dogg versus The Miz at 39, Braun versus Shane in the cage at 37, Apollo versus Big E, Nigerian drum fight at 37, and Corbin versus Angle at 35. Anything we want to cut from here to get those on? Or are we feeling that good about this card?
This is all so. It's like which is so bad. Was so. I want to say true to what we said. Was the Shane Miz match announced? I don't remember.
It was not. So Jay DeFalco says that was more of a segment turned match, not a legit match.
So then,
So
for those reasons, I'm going to say I think we should cut that one off the list because we've been saying none of those last second added things, the Pat McAfee, the Hulk
yeah,
Hogan
that's a
stuff,
very good point. I just really wanted the visual of Shane tearing his ACL
for
midway
sure.
through night 2. Like the fans are
Crazy.
like, "Come on!" Um, okay,
That
all
was
right.
so
So
fun because we all saw that. We were just like, wait. Is this really Yeah, that really happened. Okay. All
I will
right.
begrudgingly remove Shane and Miz. I
So we
mean
got
Snoop
3
Dogg
left.
and
Don't worry,
Miz.
Shane's still there. We still got Shane versus Braun.
We did. Did we do the bar? No, we didn't because Sheamus.
Yeah.
Um,
So one
Killer Tomato.
match.
Killer Tomato suggests cut Mr. T and Piper for Shane and Miz. Well, we already moved on from Shane and Miz, so
Yeah, sorry. I was gonna
um,
suggest cut Ryback Henry for one of these 3
mm.
bigger names, in my opinion, and that's what I was kind of going for. Is like bigger names that disappointed.
Well, we already got a cage match on night 1, right? No, we
I don't
don't.
think we have a cage match anywhere.
Okay. Chat, what do you all think? Do you think we got it? Do you think we need to really get the Nigerian drum fight, Braun and Shane, Corbin and Angle? Do you think we really got to get him in there somewhere? Or do you think we got it?
If
You
we
think we
do
know?
have to get him in, my suggestions would be Ryback Henry.
Mhm.
Um, I, I guess Alberto versus Swagger, but I love that as a main event. That's so shitty. Um, Theory Cena only because that was one of the last ones we added. Maybe we could get rid of that for one of them. But those are really the only ones I could think of. I think the and this is me being biased. So if you think differently, please let me know. But I think the Sheamus versus Danielson and the Miss WrestleMania, those are just fun ways to get those nights off. Lawler
Pete Rose
Cole.
Pete Rose segment thrown in for good measure. Any of them will work for me.
That could be sprinkled in anywhere, man. That's fine.
All right.
Cole
So you know what then? So
Lawler.
we'll do Pete Rose segment night 1 and Snoop Dogg Miz night 2 segment. There you
Yes,
go.
there you go.
So those are two that announce the attendance.
Cole Lawler, Taker Gonzalez, those have to stay. I think Cat Terry has to stay. Hart Vince, Goldberg Lesnar, those have to stay, like for sure. So yeah, unless we feel really strongly about one of those like 2 or 3 that I mentioned before, I think we got it.
You know what it is? I know Corbin and Angle is me just being very biased.
No,
So I'm
I
okay
keep
with
I
that not
keep
making
looking
it.
I keep looking at Corbin Angle, bro. Like it's really funny that you keep saying it because like of the 3, I'm like, yeah, Cruz and Big E, that was stupid, but it doesn't have to be on there. Shane versus Braun, I hate Braun, so I would like for that to be on there, but it doesn't have to be. But I'm like,
You know what?
Angle versus Corbin should never have
I'll,
happened. Angle versus Corbin was so bad.
I'm gonna veto the cage match just because we don't want to give this crowd even a single pop with Shane McMahon doing his spot.
That's fair.
So
That's fair.
let's cut the spot. No happiness.
That's fair.
Damn. Okay. Now I'm thinking right back Mark Henry for Corbin Angle. You're making me want to do it. but it's Ryback. Ah, shit.
I
And then I love Big E. I don't want to put I feel bad putting Big E on here.
I don't know. I think we're good. As
You think
much as
we're
I want,
good?
as much as I want Angle Corbin, I mean,
Let's lock it. Let's lock
I
it.
can
We'll leave it.
hold on. I'll say one last thing, and then you let me know. Chat, you can let me know, and this will be the last give up. I won't mind giving up the Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal for Angle Corbin.
Nah, we need a women's match each night, and Santina winning will be the perfect FU to the fans.
That's fair. Okay, yeah. Then I think we're locked in.
Because then we're also still giving the fans the happiness afterwards of Angle being like goodbye
I
and like the
agree.
waving and you deserve it. That we again as little happiness and satisfaction as we can give this audience.
I
And
agree.
I don't think there's a single. I mean, there's maybe there'll maybe be a Sheamus fan in the crowd, but that's already sadness
Yeah,
for
but
them.
Sheehan, no one cares about, so we're not worried about that. I'm
Yeah.
looking at every single match, and I don't remember a happy moment from any of them.
I mean, Terry and the Cat may give some people the puppies. That's about it.
Not me.
But well, some people. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I think we. And again, if you want to specify Randy Orton the Fiend 37, I know you wrote the Fiend and
Well,
he was Bray at
wasn't Bray
33.
33? Yeah, Fiend and Bray
Yeah,
are two
but all
different
right,
people.
I can fix it in post. It's
What?
fine.
What? That's
It's
ridiculous.
fine.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna post this.
I'm saying Randy Orton versus the Fiend. There shouldn't be a question. If they are a question, then they're
Uh,
not real wrestling fans.
Wrestling fans are wrestling fans. They'll still be like, which one?
Foolish idiots. Tell them I called them
All
idiots.
right.
I don't mind.
Well, we did good.
I really
I think
like
we did
this.
good here today.
Yeah.
I think we. I don't think we missed anything, and I think we played by our rule. I don't think anybody's on here twice,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like we didn't royally mess up.
I'm
Santino's
double
not
checking
hiding
that.
twice.
Imagine.
None of the
That'd be so
women,
scary.
Terry and Kat were not in the battle royal.
No, they were not.
Um, you know, yeah,
Yeah,
I
we're
think
good.
we did good. None of the ECW new originals were wrestling twice.
The only new breed it would be what Austin Theory possibly. Like everything else was before the new breed.
Wait, what? What about New Breed?
I said the only new breed guys potentially could have been like they had to be like young guys. They wouldn't be any of these older guys. None of these older guys were
Yeah,
ECW
it was Marcus
originals.
Corvon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
Elijah Burke. Yeah, so we're good. We
Jack
got it. We did
Swagger
it.
wasn't a new breed, right?
He was not. No.
Thank God.
Yeah,
All
we
right,
nailed it.
I like it. We're locking that in. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying with us all night tonight. We built our worst WrestleMania card of all time. If you do not look at this card and want to throw up, then I don't know. Maybe you like too much WWE stuff. I don't know what to tell you. On Thursday, we are recapping our Dynasty predictions. We're going over Dynasty and seeing how we felt about it. We're recapping SmackDown and Raw. What'd you say?
A lot. We got a lot to talk
We got
about.
a lot to talk about. And is that this week? No, we have to do WrestleMania predictions next week, right?
Yes,
Oh,
next
thank
week.
God. I couldn't do results and predictions. That would be too much. All right.
Yep.
And then, yeah. So please come back Thursday night, 8 o'clock, for our last point standing. Thank you for sticking with us, everyone. Throw us a sub. Have a great night. And shoot us an email. Let us know whatever questions you have. Adios,
Yeah,
everybody.
I prefer meatball subs if you're gonna throw a sub my way.
Ooh.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Chad Gable's stupid Mexican wrestlers getting a WrestleMania match, bro. That's ridiculous.
I'm waiting to see what they do with Orton, because if they do